Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really powerful idea about mental health. What if the real key to happiness isn't about what you can get from the world, but about what you can build inside yourself? Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's start with a question, a paradox that I think we all see around us. People who seem to have it all figured out, the success, the relationships, the perfect looking life. And yet, they can still feel this deep, nagging emptiness inside. So, what's the deal with that? For a long time, the go-to answer for this has been pretty straightforward. It's all about our connections with other people. You've probably heard of the famous 80-year Harvard grant study, right? It basically concluded that the single most important factor for a long, happy life is the quality of our relationships. But here's where things get interesting. What if we have it backwards? What if feeling lonely or having bad relationships isn't actually the cause of our unhappiness, but a symptom of something much deeper? And that question brings us to our first big idea today, the happiness paradox. It's all about that gap between having all the external stuff that's supposed to make you happy, the money, the success, and still feeling like something is missing on the inside. I mean, really think about it for a second. If great relationships were the complete answer, then why would someone with a loving partner and great friends ever feel completely worthless? Or why would a super successful person feel like a total fraud inside? It's pretty clear there's another piece to this puzzle. And that missing piece, according to the source material we're looking at, has a name: outsourcing your self-worth. The argument here is that this is the real root cause of the anxiety and emptiness that feels like an epidemic these days. So what does that even mean, to outsource your self-worth? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's when you completely hand over the job of answering the question, am I valuable, to the outside world. Your sense of worth becomes totally tied to things like how many likes you get, what your job title is, or whether other people approve of you. This chart just lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you have intrinsic worth. Think of it like a deep-rooted tree. It's stable, it's internal, and it's based on the belief that my existence itself is meaningful. But on the other side, you have outsourced worth. That's more like a fragile balloon, constantly asking, do other people think I'm worthy? It's completely dependent on what's happening outside of you. And that balloon metaphor is just so powerful, isn't it? When your sense of self is outsourced, it might look big and impressive from a distance, but the tiniest little thing, a bit of criticism, a job loss, a breakup, can feel like a pinprick that causes the whole thing to just collapse. And this traps people in a really nasty, vicious cycle. It all starts with that feeling of a void inside, that inner scarcity. That feeling makes you start outward chasing for any kind of validation you can get. But here's the catch. That external fix is always temporary, which just leads to deeper emptiness and makes you even more dependent on it until, well, eventually the whole system just can't hold. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do we break that cycle? Well, the source proposes a really practical system for rebuilding that sense of intrinsic worth. It all starts by turning our focus inward to, as it says, ignite your inner light. And at the heart of this solution is a simple but incredibly profound idea. If you haven't directly felt and recognized your own inherent worth, then all the external fixes in the world, therapy, new goals, even new relationships, they're only going to be a temporary patch. You have to rebuild the foundation from the inside out. So how do you actually do that? The method suggested here is so practical and honestly timeless. It's a daily journal that focuses on just 3 simple things. First, you just write down what acts of kindness you did that day, no matter how small. Second, you think about the positive impact those actions had. And third, you gently reflect on areas where you could maybe improve. So you might be wondering, how can a simple journal actually do all that? Well, it's actually brilliant in its simplicity. By tracking your own positive impact, you're literally building a case file, providing evidence to yourself that you do have worth. It actively fights back against those feelings of self-loathing, and it totally shifts your focus from needing validation to creating genuine fulfillment, building something inside you that no one can ever take away. But here's the thing. Building up your own inner worth, that's not actually the final destination. It's just the starting line. From here, the goal is to become what the source calls an endless light for other people. So once you start building that stable inner light for yourself, the very next step is to share it. The idea isn't just to be a lit lamp sitting alone in a dark room. It's to use your flame to help light up other lamps.
This whole concept is called the lamp passing principle, and it works in 3 dimensions. First up is individual ignition. That's you building your own worth and getting rid of that emptiness. Then comes lamps continuing. This is where you start to illuminate others through what you say and do. And here's the amazing part, that actually amplifies your own sense of worth. And finally, you have lights interreflecting, where we all grow together in a community, creating this amazing, sustainable cycle of fulfillment.
And this quote just captures the whole spirit of it so beautifully. Unlike, money or some other resource, your inner worth, your light, doesn't get used up when you share it. It's the exact opposite. The very act of sharing it, of helping other people find their light, actually makes yours burn brighter. So, if there's one crucial point to take away from all this, it's this. The ultimate remedy for that deep feeling of emptiness that so many of us experience isn't about getting more love or more success or more recognition from the outside world. It's about a complete and total shift in direction, from desperately seeking value out there to systematically and patiently building it in here.
And that really brings us to the heart of it all. This whole journey, it's not some abstract, far-off goal. It begins with the small things we do every single day. So we'll just leave you with this simple question to think about. What light will you share today?